Yo, what up, guys? This is Kyle Beast here coming at you with that NFL Week 7 preview for you. This video is supposed to come out a lot earlier in the week, but I got really busy, and I'm recording this on my phone about an hour and 20 minutes before kickoff. So let's get into it. The preview is just going to be it's going to be a pretty short show today. We just got the Lions at Ravens, Falcons at Bucks, of course, Chargers at Chiefs, Dolphins at Eagles. The Cowboys are on a bye, or otherwise we would be covering them. And then I will probably just kind of wing Monday Night Football. I don't have any notes on it, but that will be the San Francisco 49ers, I think, at Minnesota is that game. So let's just get into it, starting with the Lions at Ravens. Lions, they've easily been right behind the 49ers, been the most consistently just best team in the league, right behind the 49ers, right? So I guess second best. They've been playing really good and efficient football. Jared Goff's been outstanding. There's not a whole lot to say about him. Defense has hit the injury bug early and has still been playing elite defense. That's how you know it's a good team, not just a talented team, you know. Good teams win Super Bowls, not talented teams. So that's a really good sign for them. Ravens, their offense has been super inconsistent. Lamar turns the ball over once a game. I think he's averaging probably 1.5 a game, which is wild. But they've still been a really good football team, right? Lamar's looked better each week throwing the ball in this new system, and you're definitely going to need it against this Lions rush defense. Defensively, the Ravens have been really good, but a little weaker in the run game. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they play against this Lions run-first offense. Prediction, I really like the Lions. Matchup just in this one with them being the hot team, and they play off the run game just so well. Going to be a competitive game always, with the Ravens always being competitive and always having a great matchup and game plan, just great coaching. But I got to go Lions 28-23 on this one. Let's get into that Falcons at Bucks. This is a huge game for us, Hotlanta Nation. We got to stay above 500. 4-3 is a huge difference between 3 and 4. Obviously, pretty sure every NFL fan would understand that. But our offense has been good, and Ritter's getting better and better each week. Our offense has been good at home, I should say. At home, it's been solid, and Ritter's been able to move the ball at home. So, and this game is on the road, so I'm a little, weary about that. I know last week turnovers killed us, but if you didn't see my video last week, I go into why it wasn't all on Ritter and why it was definitely on the coaching side as well, and how we were struggling getting just play calls in, and it was really messing up our system. So you can go check that out on why I don't think it's all on Ritter and why I think he's been a solid quarterback for us all year. Defensively, we've been really good all season. I know last week everyone was like, the defense didn't play that good. They played outstanding. The only 3 touchdowns they gave up were on extremely short fields. I mean, you'd like to see them maybe get a stop once so I can hold them to a field goal, but that's kind of a lot to ask. I mean, they played really good. Obviously, we've been real suspect against the run all year, and Dameon Pierce kind of got the best of us, but it's been way more than Hotlanta fans could ask for. So our defense has definitely been really solid. Prediction, Desmond Ridder tends to play horrible on the road, so it's really hard for me to like this matchup for us, especially just the Bucks front 7 being so good. I didn't even get into the Bucks. Let me get into the Bucks really quick. Haven't been able to watch them a lot this season, so I don't have a great understanding on the team as a whole, but it seems like offensively, they've been average at best with some explosive plays here and there. Mike Evans coming off the injury, though, has kind of shut that down a little bit, and their offense has struggled. Defensively, though, they do have a really good front 7. Obviously Devin White, Levante David, Vita Vea, Shaq Barrett. They got a bunch of pass rushers. I think that Joe Tyrone Sheinka, I haven't, like I said, I really haven't been able to watch them, so I don't know who's been playing good for them. But I know they definitely have some names. They have a solid secondary, right, but nothing special. Jamel Dean. Gosh dang, I'm forgetting the safety's name, but Carlton Davis, and they have a solid secondary, but it's nothing special. I think it's always been a little overrated. So my prediction, let's just get back into that. Desmond Ridder plays horrible, with a bad matchup, or he plays horrible on the road, and we have a bad matchup. So I really hate that there, but we desperately need this win, Hotlanta Nation. So I'm gonna have to put all my energy into believing Hotlanta. Let's go, Hotlanta 24-16 in this one. Let's go Chargers at Chiefs. Chargers really need this win, right? They're either gonna go. They're in a worse position than us. They need to either get to 3-3 or go 2-4, and that would be way worse. It would be killer. Justin Herbert has looked like he hasn't improved since his sophomore season, and it's really disappointing, right? He gets super frantic under pressure and just never tends to win the big games, or he just tends to not really like be a winner. I mean, even in that Cowboys game, right, they could have easily won that, but he missed Keenan Allen on like 2 touchdowns, and he was just a little off all day, and he just looked just out of character, I guess would be the word. Defensively, they've been real weak under Brandon Staley. You know, he's supposed to be the defensive guy, right? And they're supposed to be really good this year, bringing in Kellen Moore, but hasn't been good. And the secondary's been average. I think it's been a little better than the pass rush, but nothing to write home about for sure. Or write home about. Chiefs offensively, they've kind of been a train wreck this year, right? With the standard being Mahomes and Reed. I think anyone like you see that record, right? They're 5-1. Oh, the Chiefs are right on schedule. No, definitely not. I'm kind of like the Eagles in that retrospect. If you've been watching them, you've definitely had your high concerns on what it's going to be like come playoff time. Now, obviously, you know, for Super Bowl contenders, we're really more so looking at like week 12 to, you know, the end of the season to really start sniffing out those contenders. So, I mean, they definitely have more time, and it is a Hall of Fame coach and probably a Hall of Fame quarterback at this point already. But, I mean, Mahomes has looked horrible. He has 5 interceptions on the year, and 4 of them just being noticeably horrific. The defense is carried all year. Coming into the season, I hated this defense, and they've made me look real stupid because I thought they were pretty overrated, especially McDuffie and Sneed, L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie. I think he's the sophomore now. I think last year was his rookie season. I didn't love this secondary. I didn't love anything really about this defense going into the season, but man, they've been incredible. I think they've been at least a top 6 defense on the year for sure. I'd have to look into it, but definitely top 6, probably top 5. And prediction, I really like the Chargers matchup in this one, right? Just with their defense not being so good and the Chiefs' offense struggling, it can kind of keep them in the game and see what happens. But there's just no way for me to pick Herbert, right, with him just not meeting expectations all year. I got to roll with the Chiefs' defense, getting after him. Chiefs tend to play the Chargers pretty well, that they always do, and it's always a good game, though, so we'll see. I'm going to go Chiefs, though, 27-17. Now let's get into that Dolphins at Eagles game. This is going to be the most fun game of the week by far. I think Eagles fans are very enticed to kind of see how they're going to play against an elite team after coming off of just that brutal loss against a team they are obviously much more talented than, especially, you know, just because Zach Wilson's playing quarterback. Dolphins, I mean, offense has been incredible. There's really not enough to say about them other than they've been ridiculously explosive, and I'm kind of getting sick and tired of watching Dolphins highlights and seeing a defense line up, press, or one-on-one with Tyreek Hill and him just running by him every time with no safety help. It seems there's a touchdown every week with that, and I just don't get it. I don't know why that's ever a thing. You know, probably miscommunication, right? I'm sure the DC doesn't want that, but geez Louise, it's crazy how many times he's been able to do it this year. Defensively, they've been really underrated. They've had a really good last 3 weeks. This Dolphins defense is not what we saw in the first week against that Chargers team. You know, they're playing good football for sure. Eagles, if you've watched any of my videos, I have really low praise on these guys, right? Thing I keep coming back to, I think I've said on every time I've talked about the Eagles, is how uncomfortable Jalen Hurts has looked in just this new offensive system. I mean, he had horrible interceptions last week and ultimately led them to losing the game. Defense has been I don't want to say pretty bad all year, I guess, but not good all year. They haven't been good, especially because they're just secondary woes. I mean, they were hit with the injury bug early, but, I mean, so are the Lions and the Ravens, and they're still playing good defense, so there's really no excuse there. This is definitely a game that they can come in and show how dominant they actually are. I'm really excited to see if they can show up to the task. Prediction, I fully expect the Eagles to show up for this game. I just don't think they're quite ready for it, right? They're not playing great football. The Dolphins are playing really hot football. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins. My only worry for them is taking this very, very talented Eagles team lightly. I definitely don't expect them to do so, though. They're a very well-coached team, and I think they understand how good this team is, especially being in the Super Bowl last year and probably upgrading in a lot of spots. It just hasn't really worked out, this year with the old adage in the NFL being you're just never quite the same team as last year. But I'm going Dolphins in a pretty solid win, 35-21. I think the Eagles are going to have a really hard time defending them just with their secondary